Well, 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 how the turntables. This was something I was not expecting to read this afternoon, but the story continues. Mineplex is back? Question mark? Or it's coming back? Yeah, this is crazy. This literally just got announced within the last few hours here, and I just got home, settled down here, and I decided to just kind of go for this because I'm kind of shocked, but also this is just really interesting. So I guess enough with the fluff here, but we take a look here. This is back on the Mineplex Discord. This is SamitoD. Now, for those of you who don't know, SamitoD was a former admin on Mineplex. He also has a YouTube channel. I don't know if he still posts on it, but he was a pretty well-known name in the Mineplex community. I've even mentioned him in a video. But yeah, SamitoD, former admin of Mineplex, has announced he has bought Mineplex. He has, quote, acquired 100% of the company and am totally committed to seeing the Mineplex brand succeed in the long term. Wow. So first of all, there's a lot to unpack here. The first thing is interesting. Actually, I didn't even know this. It says it's been a few years since you've heard from me or since I've been involved with Mineplex at all. I didn't even know that. Like, you can actually see on his thing there that he's like a new member of the Discord. So, that he wasn't even in the Discord, and he went from not being on the Discord to buying Mineplex in its entirety, which is incredible. That is just incredible. There's actually not a whole lot that he said in this announcement. It's mainly just the fact that he announced it. But there is one thing that we do know that I got some information on from another server, which I want to talk about in this video as well. I'm going to try and keep this one a lot shorter than the last video I made talking about this topic. But first of all, I guess I'm really excited. But let me, before we get into too much opinion stuff, let me just kind of go over as many of the facts that we have. Now, the only other announcement here that's kind of interesting is this that's just come out within the last hour of me recording this. Samito says, or Sam, I don't know. Sam says, also to make it clear now, we will not be allowing quote-unquote copycat networks based on Mineplex's branding, imagery, or intellectual property to launch. I love the passion that many of you have shown, and I appreciate the enthusiasm to keep the dream alive. There is a right way and a wrong way to go about it in life. He says that's all the info he can give today, but I think that's just kind of interesting. I think, everybody was thinking at the beginning, okay, Mineplex has no interest in releasing or selling any of the intellectual property of Mineplex, whether that be the maps or the actual server code, the infrastructure itself. Now that this has happened, of course, this really changes everything, because obviously SamitoD now owns this, and this guy's going to have a vested interest. So, all this copycat stuff, it really changes. You can't just open Plex Mine or whatever stupid name you want to give your server that's clearly a ripoff of Mineplex without any originality whatsoever. Or Mineplex 2 would be the more obvious name you might choose. Which makes sense. Again, he owns the IP and he clearly cares about it, so of course he's going to want to protect that brand. So with that, I'm going to turn over here real quick. I'm going to jump over to the Plexverse network server. Now, this server came out, well, I shouldn't say it came out because it's not out. The Discord server came out, I would say, about a week ago. I don't remember what day I joined it on. I joined it about 10 days ago, so actually, yeah, I think I was already in this server about the same time I made that first video. But anyway, this server is basically a bunch of people saying, hey, Mineplex is dead. Let's not let all this passion go to waste. Let's make a new one, but not actually call it Mineplex 2. And the server got quite popular. Over 5,000 members, which is just insane in that few amount of days. And it really goes to show there's a lot of passion people still have for Mineplex and Mineplex style servers and stuff, if you will. Or Minecraft minigames in general, maybe I'll say that instead of just Mineplex. But that puts them into a really tough pickle now. Because it's like, well, who do we root for? Who do we support with our time, with our, potential money, whatever, who do we support here? Now, this is where things get interesting. If I jump over here to the polls tab, they took a poll after they found out about this, again, earlier this afternoon, and simply asked people, do you want us to continue the development? And a key thing they share here, and I don't know where this message came from, but SamitoD basically says Bedrock is our highest priority at the moment. Which, I guess I understand. I understand from a business perspective why you would do that, but as a player, as a, I should say, like a fan of the Java Edition server and Java Edition in general, that's kind of unfortunate because I think a lot of people love to see the Java server come back and actually be cared for. Now, he's not saying that would never happen, but obviously, again, keyword is that's the highest priority, which, again, from a business perspective, I get it. It makes sense. But at the same time, what that does now is that leaves open the door for Plexverse here. They had the opposite approach. And you can actually see the poll right up here. They asked people, would you rather play on Java or Bedrock? And a significant majority said Java. So, you know, I don't know. You know, is this going to be a little bit of a competition? Is Plexverse doomed? Or is Mineplex just going to be a Bedrock server and maybe they won't even bother with Java? I don't know. I can't see SamitoD not bothering with Java. I think he probably is looking at the situation and saying, you know, obviously I have passion for this, but I also need this to be profitable or at least breaking even. You know, otherwise the server's just going to collapse again. This isn't just a charity, you know. So I think he's probably figuring, okay, let's get Bedrock going. Let's start to pull in some money there, and then we can take some of that money and invest it not only back into Bedrock, but also invest it into getting Java back running. So again, I totally understand it, but it will be interesting to see then kind of what happens here with Plexverse. Whether does this even make sense? How does this even work? You know, you look above here, they took polls about which games do you want us to bring back? And now it's like, well, you can't just straight up bring back any of these because SamitoD is going to come after you and be like, you know, this is my IP. You can't just remake Super Smash Mobs and call it Super Smash Mobs and it's the exact same as Super Smash Mobs and all that stuff. I mean, it's not to say you can't make something similar. Obviously, you can make like a spleef game. You could make your own survival games. You can make your own Sky Wars. But obviously, you can't just make it copies. You can't make copies of what Mineplex did. So, I think this is really interesting. I think this is all going to be something to continue to watch. Because, I mean, it's exciting. I think if these servers turn out to be really good, and there's a lot of publicity and energy and hype behind them, and they come out in a reasonable amount of time and they're high quality, you know, I'm just going to make this prediction now. I think we could see a renaissance of minigame servers kicked off by this. So I think, ironically, by Mineplex's little temporary death, it might reignite the whole genre. I mean, I'm not saying Minecraft minigames have been dead for a decade. That's clearly not true. Hypixel is still doing really well. And we saw Bed Wars a few years ago, and that was a huge thing. Actually, come to think of it, that's really the last major like minigame innovation that Minecraft has seen. You know, we've seen CubeCraft shut down. We've seen the Hive shut down on Java. Now, of course, we've seen Mineplex shut down. You know, I just think there's an opening here. I think we could even be getting to that point where there's a bit of nostalgia for these old networks, and that might be enough to get these things going again. Maybe not to the point that they used to be a decade ago. You know, is Mineplex 2 going to see 40,000 people? Probably not. Is Plexverse going to see 40,000 people? Probably not. But you don't really need 40,000 people on a server for it to be a success. You could probably get away with, I would say, I think a solid number would be 1,000. I think 1,000 would be a good place to start. Heck, even 500. You just need to be able to start games. That's basically it. Even if you're playing against similar people, if you can start games, that's all you need. You know, I think about QuakeCraft and Hypixel. That community is really small, but we can still start games, and we still have fun. You know, it's hard for new people, admittedly, but I'm just going to make that prediction that I think this could be the start of something very special between these two servers. Maybe competition, maybe collaboration. I don't know. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff here, but I'm definitely going to continue watching these servers develop here and see which one comes out first and what they're going to be like. Because, again, like I said in the last video, I love my Minecraft minigames. I miss Mineplex, and hey, some competition might be really good. I'm just saying, and it may be good for Hypixel too. So this is exciting stuff. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. You know, which server do you think is going to succeed more, and which one do you think you'd play more? Mineplex 2.0 or Plexverse? And do you care that Mineplex is planning to focus on Bedrock, or do you think that's the wrong move? I'm definitely going to be talking about this more, so be sure to stay tuned, and thanks for watching.